I read a lot of books in 2025, and these are the ones that didn't waste my time. Today we're talking about my 5-star reads from 2025, and this is not a brag, this is a PSA. I read a lot last year. More specifically, I read 87 books last year. Some were fine, some were forgettable, and some personally victimized me. These are the books that did not waste my time. So these are all highly ranked and books that I would 100% recommend to you if you kind of read in the same style and genre that I do. And just so you know, this channel usually is spoiler free. So going over these 5-star books, I will 100% try my best to not spoil any of this for you. I'm not going to go into major detail, so shouldn't have any spoilers when I'm talking about these books. If you like any of the books that I read that lean more towards romance and fantasy, then this is me telling you exactly what you should read in 2026. No guessing, no scrolling, no perusing Goodreads lists because they suck anyways. I'm gonna sum it all up for you. There's 15 books here that I want to talk about, so we're gonna go through this really fast. And if I'm more chatty about one over the other, it's probably because it did more emotional damage. So there's really no particular order. However, I am organizing them by months. So we're gonna start with January 5 stars and work our way down to December 5 stars. If you're looking for a more in-depth review of these books, you could probably find any of these reviews on my channel and other videos or on Goodreads and Fable. The first book that we're gonna start with is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. If you like unique characters, messy adults, and bad choices, but with good chemistry, you'll love this one. I love the representation in this book, and I loved their love, even though it's called Not in Love. I loved the love. So we not only had one 5-star read in January, we had 3. The second 5-star book we had is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This felt like gothic, dark fantasy mixed with games and trials and obsession, and it totally worked for me. I was really a big fan of the female main character, and the main male character is on my top 5 book boyfriends list. And our third 5-star in January was none other than Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. There is no explanation for this book. I loved Fourth Wing, I loved Iron Flame, so I read this when it was released, and it did not disappoint. Rebecca Yarros did leave us on a huge cliffhanger that I have still not recovered from. This book was higher stakes and more pain. It said no mercy, and it meant it. So as you can see, I've tabbed some of these books, and I did not tab Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. One thing that you'll see is that if I really loved a book, you can base it off of the number of tabs or the number of social media pictures that I took and shared. Jumping into February, we had 2 5-star reads. The first one caught me by complete surprise. I purchased the book off of Book Outlet. I did not expect for it to hit this hard. And it's Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Here are the tabs. So this is one of the books where the character is so intriguing and unique. The world building is wonderful. The other main characters, because there's more than one and more than 2, really grabbed me and pulled me in, and I could not pick a favorite. 2 of them may be on my top 10 book boyfriends list. And I love the diversity. And Tracy Deonn did a wonderful job shedding light on racism and segregation. I love the little the little that was happening in this book. The second 5-star read we had in February is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. First of all, this book is so beautiful because it's filled with my favorite color, baby blue. This is what the tabs are looking like. This is the first book of the Moonfall series. If you want lush fantasy vibes, heartbreak, and literally emotional damage with a purpose, this one delivers. Loved the dynamic in these main characters. I loved how they met. I loved how one was way protective, and I loved how broody he was. And just this book had everything I loved, and I cannot wait for the second book to come out this year. So moving into March, there are some conclusions that we can draw based off of our 5-star reads in February. In March, I read 2 5-star books, and they were Bloodmarked and Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This series swept me away. To say that I was obsessed about all 3 of these books would be me downplaying my entire experience. Legendborn, blood-marked with the tabs, and then we got Oathbound on release day. These books were just amazing, and the way that this one ended, holy moly. The fourth book cannot come soon enough. This was a continuation of book one, and really how the main female character kind of comes into her own. How she... The third one was just devastating. It was a journey. We went on a big adventure. We went lots of different places. We met lots of different people. They were all very important. They were all very memorable. And again, the end of this book was devastating, and I'm still not okay. If you walk away from this video with literally one thing, please let it be that you should read this entire series and come on this journey of devastation with me. It's a YA fantasy, so there's some closed-door romance. Nothing spicy at all, but the characters are so wonderful and I'm so attached to every single one. In April, we had 0 5-star reads, but that's okay because the first 3 months of the year, really, we knocked it out of the park. So April, we took a little break, I guess. And then in May, we went on an adventure to find a contemporary romance 5-star read, and we found it. I don't remember. I think I read like 10 books that month. So the challenge was to not stop reading a contemporary romance until we found a 5-star read. And we ended it with, you guys are gonna hate this, it's gonna be so controversial, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. For some reason, a lot of people didn't like this, and I don't care because I loved it. I loved Lucas. I don't even ask me the female's name because I don't remember her. I only remember Lucas. He made top 10 book boyfriends. This book was so fun for me. There's really nothing left to say. Just Lucas. Read it for Lucas, please. Okay, quick check-in. If any of these are already on your TBR or you're adding them to your TBR, please let me know which ones down below in the comments you plan to read, and let me know when you're done and what you rated it because I can't wait to see what you thought. And then in June, I found a book from a local book sale, and it turned out to be a 5-star read, and that book was Emily Henry's Happy Place. So we all have probably read Emily Henry here. We probably all know what Happy Place is. But if you really like slow burn heartbreak, and if you love flashbacks, then this is the book for you. I paired this with the audiobook, and I had such a fantastic time. The narrators were great, and there's nothing more to say about this. 5 stars. And then in July, I was browsing through NetGalley, and I got approved for an ARC called The Book of Lost Hours by Haley Galfuso. Because it was an ARC, I did read this on my e-reader. And let me just tell you, finding a 5-star ARC was not on my 2025 bingo card, but we did it. This was kind of like a historical fiction time travel-y book with some romance intertwined, and I just loved the characters. I loved her dad. I loved the main male character, and I loved all the other characters that came up in this book. The ending made me really sad, and it's okay because it kind of wrapped up in a little bow. So definitely worth the read. I recommended it to a friend, and then my friend ended up reading it and rating it really highly. So I think if you are into like Secret Life of Addie LaRue, I think you'd really be into this one as well. And then in August, we had a dry spell. No 5-star reads. I don't know why. I'm not sure what we were doing in August. I mean, that was forever ago, but it happens. So then because we didn't get any 5 stars in August, September was like bam, 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 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. We read 3 5 stars in September. So in September, we did a reread of Quicksilver in preparation for Brimstone that was going to be coming out shortly after. So I did give this 5 stars a second time, even though I've read it twice now. I tabbed my new edition because the first time I read it was on my e-reader. I enjoyed it just as much, if not more than the first time. I suggest if you're going into Brimstone to please reread Quicksilver first because there's a lot of things that you might not have picked up on the first time. And also you need that refresher going into Brimstone because it literally picks up right where it left off. Also, the graphic audio for Quicksilver is amazing. The narrators, again, are so amazing. So I would recommend that as well if you can. And then shortly after Quicksilver, we jumped into Glass Sword, which is book 2 of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. These books are pretty old, I guess. They're like over 10 years old, but they're so good. There's no spice in here. And if there is, it's closed door. I think it is considered a YA fantasy, but you guys, this book is so good. And then this one was probably even better. Our main character is really trying to navigate this new life, and Victoria really nailed it. I will be jumping into King's Cage. I think that's book 3. Maybe not in 2026, or maybe it is going to happen in 2026. I can't remember. But I definitely have to continue this series, and I am on the hunt for the rest of the hardcover series so that I can complete the set. And then in September, we were preparing for spooky season, and I read Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood on Amazon Prime through my e-reader, and I was obsessed. I read it in one sitting. It is a short novella, but it didn't lack anything. It was just as good as Deep End and Not in Love. I was obsessed with the characters. I would love if she did a full book or a spin-off of Hot for Slayer, or she just did characters that were similar to them, because oh my god, it was a paranormal romance, and I love when Allie kind of dips into a different genre, different than contemporary romance, and it was so good. I was laughing, I was kicking, I was screaming, and I didn't cry, but the book was just a really good time. 100% recommend that, especially during spooky season. It'd be so amazing if she made it into a little paperback for us. And then October, it was my birth month, and the book gods did not bless me with a 5-star read. And that's okay, because I think it was saving up for some end of the year bangers. In November, I read Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I did not know what to expect from this book. I had no idea going into it what it was. I fell in love with it. I was very boisterous about the book when I was reading it. My husband can vouch for me that I was just, there were moments where I was completely flabbergasted and I could not believe what I was reading. So with that being said, the ending, I didn't really like the ending, but I enjoyed the entire book so much that I rated it 5 stars, and I immediately bought Foxglove so I can jump into that too. Not sure if that's on my 2026 TBR, but it should be. Ending out the year, we went out of 2025 with a 5-star, and that was Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Again, was not expecting to have such a great time with this. I don't know, when this first came out, people were like comparing Silver Elite and this and Fourth Wing, and I'm like, we don't need this, okay? Silver Elite was great in its own right. Shield of Sparrows was amazing, and Fourth Wing was so different than this one. I loved this. I can't explain to you how much I loved it, because I don't want to spoil it, but like, you think you're going in one direction in the beginning of this book, and then you're kind of like, plot twist, I'm not going that way at all. We're actually going this way. So get in, buckle up, because here we go. And the ending was so sad, but you do have to read it. I don't care how sad it was, you have to read it. Shield of Sparrows got a lot of Instagram attention on my account, and I'm so glad that I bought this, and I cannot wait for the sequel that comes out this year that is on my 2026 anticipated reads TBR. Every book that I talked about today is 5 stars for a reason. And if you're trying to read more without wasting your own time, this list is a great place to start for you. If you want, tell me down below what kind of reader you are, and if you're needing more help with your TBR, let me know and I can try to help you out. I can try to recommend books to you that you might like. And if you want like an honorable mentions part 2 of this video, again, let me know down below and I can get that right up for you, because I had a lot of almost 5 stars that I could tell you about. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I yapped about all of these books. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to leave me like a book stack emoji so that I know that you watched till the end. And of course, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button and turn on the notifications so you will know when I go live or upload another video. Thank you for your continued support on this channel. Every little thing helps. So next week's video is going to be finally our 26 books in 2026. I'm going to show you a wonderful Excel sheet of what books I plan to read in 2026, and I'm going to give you some reasons why and show you kind of how I planned these books. There's a few new releases on there. There's continuing series or finishing series. There's going to be new authors on there and so much more. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!